Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? Then you are in the right place, because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Yesterday, I was reflecting on what is the root cause that is underlying my struggles with the scarcity mindset. And it really was another reality check for me on what it looks like to have a life of thriving and what it takes to achieve and maintain and deepen our experience of thriving in life. So we were thinking about what it looks like. We recognize that, you know what? There are different areas to our life. And just because I may be thriving in one area of my life doesn't mean I'm automatically going to begin to thrive in all other areas of my life. Because the specific challenges that we have to deal with and overcome in the different areas of our life can be very different from each other. At least in terms of the context within which we experience those challenges. Right? I mean, just think about it. Okay, let's take, what are some different areas of our lives? We have, for example, relationships. We have money and finance. We have, are you clear on what your life meaning and purpose is? Meaning, like, are you engaged in work that helps you fulfill or be engaged with fulfilling your life meaning and purpose. Another area of life can be your physical environment. What kind of physical environment are you living in? Is it an environment that is conducive to promoting inner peace and joy and creativity and all that other good stuff? Or is it like full of chaos and just a lot of maybe disorganization? Or something even worse, like it's just plain ugly or full of pollution and making you sick, right? So the specific problems that we have that we may have in these different areas of our lives can look and feel very different, and the solutions that are needed to resolve those challenges can be very different from each other. Now, I'll tell you a little secret. This is something that I've discovered in my life, that a lot of times when you're talking about the solution to the problems, actually even the problems themselves, oftentimes the differences that we experience in the nature of the problems and the solutions, they are relatively surface level. Once we start to dig down into, okay, what's the root cause? Is there an even deeper root cause? the root cause, at the level of root causes, oftentimes the problems are stemming from the same place, the same root. And similarly with the solutions, there are surface level solutions, but then when you really dig deep into what's the essence that is underlying the specific tactics and strategies that we may need to implement, you begin to see that, in their essence, the solutions are also the same. So let me give you an example, a specific example of what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at a surface level problem, or what I'm going to tell you is a surface level problem. Like, let's say you've survived some kind of trauma in your life, and now the memories of that trauma are continuing to bother you. One of the underlying causes, one of the root causes of why you are being affected in this way by the memories of the trauma, by the experience of the trauma, is that you're not living in the moment. It's like when you're not living in the moment, you're either focused on the past or the future. And in the context of a problem, you're focused on the past or the future in a way that makes you feel worried and stressed out. I know, like, when I was still struggling with this issue, it used to make me also feel angry and throw me into a mode of like judging and blaming myself. And then I would also start to project the fears and the anger and all the other emotions that I felt into my future, in terms of, like, for example, fell into the cycle of blaming and judging myself. It's like, Samia, you just can't take care of yourself. You can't tell the difference between when someone wants to hurt you or not. You can't trust yourself, to tell the difference in this way. So then you begin to project that into the future, and you're like afraid of allowing yourself to open up. In your relationships, you're afraid to let people into your life. And it just causes more stress, because when you shut yourself from other people in this way, when you isolate yourself from other people in this way, then you end up having to manage everything on your own. You are lacking the help and support you need to overcome and deal effectively with a lot of problems that are in your life, right? And so then those problems begin to seem bigger and bigger, and you begin to feel smaller and smaller. And you're like, oh, I can't deal with these problems. There's just too much. So not living in the moment is one of the root causes of these problems, right? Because your worries of the past and your projection of those worries and those negativities into your future is preventing you from recognizing that, hey, my present moment right now, like whatever happened in my past, like right now, it's a different moment. It's not happening right now, this moment, this instance. It prevents you from seeing things from a fresh, new, different perspective, from focusing on solutions that may be more objective, right? More objectively helpful, or more creative, that allow you to be more plugged in to other kinds of help and resources. So living in the moment And especially if you're living in the moment, and in this moment, I'm safe. In this moment, I'm in an environment that is actually pleasant, where the sun is shining and, there's a great breeze blowing and I have all my basic needs are met. I can actually be happy in this moment if I stay focused in this moment. But I don't know how to stay focused in this moment. It's like I struggle to live in the moment, so I'm constantly worrying about the past and the future. So I'm not even able to be happy in this moment, even though I could be happy in this moment. Right? Okay, so so on the surface, the problem is, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I have a lot of problems, I don't have enough help, I don't have enough support, etc., etc. Or I was traumatized and all these memories are bothering me. But one of the underlying causes of all these surface level problems is I'm not living in the moment. So what's the solution? Live in the moment. Right? Now, living in the moment in a context like this, where, okay, I need to learn how to cope with the memories of my trauma, and the steps that I need to live in the moment for that purpose, or practice living in the moment for that purpose, may be very different than me dealing with a problem or a challenge that is that is a very different area of my life. So for example, let's take a look at the area of money and finance. Now, on the surface level of things, the problems I'm dealing with in the money and finance area of my life may look or feel very different from that of, I am a survivor of abuse or some other trauma. For example, it may be that in the finance area of my life, I've just lost my job. Or I have a job, but I'm not happy in the job because that job does not really fulfill my passion, my sense of passion and life meaning and purpose. Or maybe, as in my case right now, I have I'm doing work that I really love, and actually it makes me very happy to do that work. I even have financial security, but I'm striving and wanting more than just financial security. I want financial freedom, right? And so in the context of financial freedom, like my definition of financial freedom is I am generating enough passive income that I'm able to maintain my desired lifestyle just from the passive income. So when I work because I want to, because I love to, because I choose to, not because I have to. So that way, the work that I'm doing, I can just not have to worry at all about where's the money going to come from for me to be able to maintain my desired lifestyle. Because that money is coming from somewhere else, from other sources of income. Okay, so the struggle I'm feeling, one of the struggles, for example, that I'm experiencing with this right now is I don't have a lot of savings. So I've been learning a lot about, okay, how do I create passive income streams? And many of those passive income streams that I'm really interested in establishing for me, they require some initial investment. In some cases, pretty significant amounts of investment for me to even just get going. And I don't have a lot of money saved up. So it can be like, okay, well, lack of money, that's the problem. And then you say, okay, lack of money, and then you can so easily, like get into this place of worrying about it. It's like, how do I get more money? How do I get more money? And then you can start easily to get stressed about it, and you're like, okay, I have to work harder, I need to do more, I have to, and it just can easily get out of control. Like, okay, so that gives you a little bit of a sense of, okay, like the kind of challenges that I find myself sometimes struggling with, and I constantly have to check with myself and be like, stop, Samia, whoa, what's with all the worry? Stop right here. Like, what really is going on? What's the root cause behind this worry? What's the actual root cause of the stress and the problems that we are experiencing? And sure enough, when I've checked in with my heart, the root causes are not that I don't have enough money to make the investments that I want to for generating the passive income that I want. Lack of money in my bank account is not the problem. It's not the root cause. One of those root causes when I'm feeling worried is, in fact, again, turns out, not living in the moment. When I'm not living in the moment, I begin to worry. Either based on my past, worrying based on focused in the past, or worrying based on what I'm projecting into the future, right? But when I'm living in the moment, I'm focused on doing what I need to do to make things happen. And hey, look, I've already done a lot of great work, put in a lot of time and effort to figure out exactly what kind of passive income streams that I need to invest in and what it will take for me to establish them. So I've already even done all that learning, and I'm literally, all I really need to do is implement what I'm learning. As long as I keep implementing what I'm learning, I'm going to achieve my goals. So I've really nothing to worry about. But when I fail to live in the moment, I can easily fall into a state of worry. So here we go. You see an example of two very different seeming problems. On the one hand, the memories of the trauma that I experienced are bothering me, surface level, right? And this other problem of I don't have enough money in my bank account, surface level. But we dig deep into what is the root, root cause of these worries, and in both cases turns out one of those root causes is not living in the moment. Now, the good news for me is that I've already got a lot of practice living in the moment in the context of dealing with my first kind of problem, in terms of dealing with the memories of my trauma. So I have the basic skill. Now I just have to apply it in this different context of when I begin to worry about money, right? So because I already have the basic skill, it's relatively easy for me when I start to worry about money to be like, okay, let's employ those skills of living in the moment, and I'm able to deal with it with relative ease and with relative efficiency, and come back to a place of peace and contentment and actually living in the moment relatively quickly. Okay, so now I need you to think about what is the problem. Like, bring to mind a problem that you are struggling with right now in any area of your life. Are you aware of what are the underlying causes to your problem? And do you know how to deal with those underlying causes. Do you have the skills and the knowledge that you need to deal with those underlying causes? And like I said, in most of the cases, the underlying causes, they'll turn out to be the same few things in regardless of what life category you're dealing with. For example, not living in the moment. And it is these kind of basic essential skills that you can learn that I learned in my life as I was going through my life journey, a survivor to thriver, transforming from survivor to thriver, starting out as a survivor of abuse to now thriving in my life, thriving over that abuse, thriving over that violence and trauma. And I'm going to make a little bit of a pitch right here for the free online training that I have coming up, because, hey, this is a really, really great training. If you do not have awareness of what these underlying root causes can be that end up manifesting as problems in all areas of your life, you really need to get on my Survivor to Thriver formula training that's coming up. It's actually coming up next week, Saturday, March 21st at 11 a.m. Okay, Survivor to Thriver formula training. In this training, we are going to go over what are the root causes that keep us stuck in survivor mode. And then we're going to talk about what are the solutions, those essence, at the level of essence, those solutions that you can apply to start to shift out of the survivor mode into thriver mode. And then what are the steps that you need to take, the actions that you need to take to implement the solutions. And then the benefits, the transformational benefits that you experience as a result of going through that process. Okay, so this is, like I was telling you, in this podcast, we go deep, deep, deep into whatever issue we are reflecting on. But this Survivor to Thriver training is going to give you the big picture perspective. So you can take stock of what progress you have already made and how far you still have to go, or what else you still need to work on in order to transition successfully from survivor mode into thriver mode. So mark your calendars for next Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific Coast Time. And just go ahead go to my website at academyofthriving.com, and you will find a tab on the menu, the main menu right near the top of the page, that says free online training. Free online training. Click on the free online training tab from the homepage, www.academyofthriving.com, and sign up for this free online training on the Survivor to Thriver formula, so you can get the big picture perspective you need on how you can transform yourself from survivor to thriver. Go ahead, do that now. If you're not driving or engaged in some other task, you cannot stop right away. Do it as soon as possible. And I will connect with you tomorrow. And until then, I wish you lots of peace and joy.